Soundstripe. Soundstripe.
Man, I gotta get used to this shit. What's up, good people? This is your welcome to the AEW or the All Elite Dynamite recap show. Totally botched the hell out of that, but we'll get used to it. It's my first time producing and rolling this thing solo. It's all good. This is your host, Big Daddy C, coming to you live, man. Springfield, Illinois. Go ahead, get you this recap for Dynamite tonight. So we had a pretty much starting off with an 8-man tag match. We had Will Ospreay, Powerhouse Hobbs, Ricochet, Mark Davis going against Takeshita, Kyle Fletcher, Lance Archer, and Brian Cage. And so it's pretty high stakes match. Well, I won't say high stakes match, but like a lot of different rivalries being intertangled in this tag match. You got the Don Callis family pretty much going against collection of baby faces here. And so basically, this is the opener of the show. You had Hobbs was taken out by Lance Archer. Basically, when he put his leg in the ring ropes and into the between the ring steps. And threw Ricochet into it. So Hobbs was out for a little bit, but eventually he came back during the match. But Don Callis family pretty much took control throughout the whole match until Hobbs came back around. He's pretty much limping his way back with a brace on his knee. He eventually tagged in. Powerhouse went on a little mini rampage, took out all the men on the opposing team. Takeshita eventually was able to pick up the win. By pinning Mark Davis with a running knee strike. So it's pretty much a lot of chaos going on here with this match. It's good, pretty good match to start off with to get the crowd going, getting them invested into the show. So I gave it a solid A minus. You know me, I like to see the baby faces win, so that was my only reason of giving it the A minus. But nevertheless, amazing match to kick off the show. Next up, we had let me see here. We had Chris Statlander going against Hikaru Shida. And so before this match, we had they came off commercial break. We had Renee basically waiting to interview the Hurt Syndicate in the parking lot. When they arrived, MVP announced that Bobby Lashley would be making his in-ring debut on Dynamite. Eventually, Swerve took Lashley down with a cheap shot before running away during the segment. Then we make it back to the arena. Adam Cole made his way to the ring. He basically was talking about how disappointing he was, not being able to face MJF, but he was confident in the fact that Roderick Strong, could get the job done against him. Kyle O'Reilly will eventually join him in the ring, and they both talked about their long journey together in wrestling. He said that Cole needs to pretty much end his quest to take out MJF before someone gets hurt. And so that was that segment. And so now here we are making it to the match between Statlander and Shida. It's pretty much this match was pretty much booked from Collision. And so Stat was basically picking up her momentum heading into her TBS title match against Mercedes Moné. So back and forth match between these two, a lot of holds and counters. Statlander was able to gain up her hand. Shida kind of held on a little bit. But I want to say kind of fell off a little bit towards the end of the match, but eventually Statlander would get a clean finish and win the match. And so after this match was over, Mercedes and Camille will come out to the stage. And Mercedes talking her shit as usual. And then she tried to send Camille in to do some damage to Statlander, but didn't work out for her. She went in and took a swing with Stat, and Sheeta easily, took her out. Mercedes tried to come out of nowhere with a backstabber. Didn't work out too well. And Statlander put it down. So I get this match a nice little, I'll say a little solid B, nothing too extravagant. But yeah, it was pretty nice. Statlander, she's amazing in the ring. So, I'm always going to give her props. And so moving on, we have the Bobby Lashley in-ring debut. Pretty much we had Joe Keys and the world famous Cheeseburger take on Lashley in a handicap match. I mean, let's be honest. Like with handicap matches, normally they tend to be they tend to like create an advantage for like the people that are going against the one person. But in this case, it's Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley is a human wrecking ball, and so this surprisingly the match lasted longer than it should have. But Bobby Lashley, he put the works on these dudes, man, and then easily won with the Hurt Lock submission hold. After this match, Swerve came out there. Came from up under the ring, attacked Lashley with a chain wrapped around his fist. And so basically that's how that ended. And of course the crowd was gonna pop for Swerve. The man is amazing hype right now. And so moving on, we had Darby Allin versus Claudio Castagnoli. Man, I was waiting to see this match, man, because hey, Claudio, boy, he be putting the hurts. He be putting the hurts on Darby Allin, man. If you saw last week, man, he demolished this guy in the parking lot, bro. It was nasty. It was nasty. So in this match here, Castagnoli came out alone for his match. But the Death Riders are never far away. So it was pretty much one-on-one bout, back and forth. Allen using his speed and counters, his agility, just his incredible athleticism during this match to create some good offense. But Claudio, his power really reigned supreme during this match. He was fucking Darby Allin up, man. Like he was throwing this man through tables. He was giving him the little swing, the giant swing through into the steel steps. I'm sorry, I can barely talk right now. Been drinking. But man, it was just a lot of power that Darby couldn't hang with, man. And he almost didn't make the 10 count outside of the ring, but he eventually got back in, tried to throw out some more last ditch effort to make something happen. But Claudio hit this man with a nice ass lariat and end up winning 1-2-3. I give this match a solid, give it a B plus. This is a pretty much personal match, like a heated battle between these two. And so I want to see more. And I'm pretty sure we will get more with this match. That's what my thoughts are on that match there. Let's see here. Next up, we have the slow and the mildly angry. We got Chris Jericho and Tomohiro Ishii contract signing. I hope I said his name right. So this was a pretty interesting segment here, just between these two. Prior to, don't mean to skip over anything. Prior to this, there was a video package that played between where Daniel Garcia and Daddy Magic was holding Jack Perry hostage, but eventually leaving him tied up by himself. This is pretty much Daniel Garcia was just talking his shit, saying, "Oh, you did this. You almost ended this man's career. Blah blah blah." And I don't want to be here more than you do. Like, this is what I have to do. All this other shit. And so that's pretty much how that ended. They left him there by himself, just tied up. So I thought that was a very interesting ending. After this, then that we make it to the contract signing, where Jericho was refusing to sign the contract until his legal team looked it over. So Ishii started following. He started going away, running away. Ishii followed him, and where this had to be the weirdest like chase scene in history. And so basically, Jericho was just walking. Ishii followed close behind the whole time, avoiding everything and everyone Jericho put in his path. They eventually got to the ring. Ishii handed him a pen to sign the contract. Brian Keith and Big Bill attack Ishii from behind before he can sign the contract. And the rest of the conglomeration would come in to make the save, so the segment could end with Big Tom signing on the dotted line. And so this is a weird segment, man. I I don't know what was coming to this, but it come to Jericho. When it comes to Jericho, man, hey man, I wonder what the hell he's doing sometimes. It's crazy. And so moving on, we had another segment of MJF, pretty much, shooting the shit, talking about Roderick Strong's past and the promo. And so that's pretty much how that ended there. Then we have the main event, which is what I've been waiting on. We got Eula versus Orange Cassidy. This was the main event here. Basically, even though Eula is a heel and he's normally willing to, bend or break the rules, this match was pretty much a lot. It was a good exchange of, technical wrestling, a lot of reverses, just back and forth, holds and everything. And so, of course, with how personal this whole rivalry between the Death Riders and Orange Cassidy and his crew is, it didn't take long for these two to increase the intensity. And so eventually Yuta would hit a brainbuster onto the barricade for the next few minutes. Orange Cassidy was fighting an uphill battle, trying to get back into this match. I was shocked at how much they made Yuta look dangerous in this match. It was a different tone with him in this match compared to other matches I've seen him in. And so obviously, with Orange Cassidy, him being a big baby face, that he's not going to give up, And so eventually they just Yuta would get frustrated at the fact that he could not put Cassidy away. So he goes and grabs a chair, but Orange Cassidy dodges it, rolls him up for the pin, get the win. And before Cassidy can even, do anything, stare Yuta down. Pac will come out of nowhere, attacks him, and pretty much what happens. Is that Cassidy gets demolished by by the Death Riders. Coach, what's going on, man?
See, I'm so sorry I'm late, man.
Oh, you good? You good? I'm winging it right now. I'm winging it right now. This is my first time doing this solo, so I'm just, I'm rolling, But how's everything been going, man?
Going good. Just a late night of work, and so I'm trying to catch up on everything AEW right now, so I can make sure I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, because I pretty much got to the end, but I can go back and roll through and just get your thoughts on some of the matches and everything. So the opening match was the tag team match between Ospreay, Powerhouse Hobbs, Ricochet, Mark Davis going against Takeshita, Kyle Fletcher, Lance Archer, and Brian Cage. So Takeshita and the crew will end up winning. Were you able to catch the match or?
Yes, I did actually
Okay.
catch this one. I really liked this one. I thought, it's a typical Osprey match where there's some high flying spots and some gymnastics, but there's nothing wrong with it. I
Mhm.
I really liked it. I did think that was a very very good match, and the ending to it kind of surprised me. I was really surprised that the Don Callis family won. I thought it was a for sure lock that Osprey and Ricochet were going to win.
Okay. Good. And then next up we had the let's see here. We had the backstage segment with the Hurt Syndicate in the parking lot. Basically, MVP announced that Bobby Lashley was going to have his in-ring debut, and then he will be later attacked by Swerve Strickland, basically running away after he attacked him. What did you think of this segment?
Yeah, I thought it was, and again, it was a simple but effective segment,
Mm-hmm.
especially with showing how Swerve has that dark side that we've kind of been missing lately from his character.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I know that you couldn't see it on the screen, but the announcers were talking about he had a chain wrapped around his hand. So again, that's that dark side. Um, like I said, simple but effective, and it's building up towards full gear this Saturday.
Yep. And then after that, we will have another. We have Adam Cole comes out to the ring. Basically, he was cutting a promo about him not being able to face, about him being disappointed not being able to face MJF, but he was confident in the fact that Roderick Strong could potentially get the job done. Kyle O'Reilly will later join him in the ring and talked about their long journey together in wrestling. Obviously, we know the history in NXT with the Undisputed Era, and then Kyle O'Reilly will eventually tell Cole that he needs to stop his quest of taking out MJF before someone gets hurt. So, what did you think of this segment?
This one, it was just okay. I mean, the Cole MJF rivalry really lost its luster. I know everyone's still looking forward to it, but
Mm-hmm.
ever since that the Devil reveal, it just hasn't been the same. And I know the injury from Adam Cole definitely hurt
Yeah.
that rivalry. So maybe going in a different direction is a better idea. So I'm glad they brought O'Reilly out to do something to kind of swerve the direction for
Mm-hmm.
Cole. I just don't know if that's actually going to happen or not. So I have some questions about that one.
Yeah. I think definitely the injury kind of put a damper in everything. And I know NJF took his time off as well for his injury, so it was just really crappy timing and bad luck, on both parties to get this feud really kick started. And so right after this, we had Chris Statlander go against uh, see, Chris Statlander versus Hikaru Shida. That's pretty much was a. It started out like kind of like a little back and forth. Shida would hold her own for a little bit, but Statlander pretty much had the control for most of the match. Statlander would pretty much get the win. And then eventually, after Mercedes Moné will come out, her and Camille. Mercedes Moné is talking, her shit as usual. And she tried to get Camille to do something to Statlander and Sheeta. but it didn't work out well for them. They pretty much end up getting their asses whooped. So, what did you think of this segment here, or the match and the aftermath of the match?
I thought the match was good. I felt like it was missing something though to make it an even better match. And maybe it's just because of how we kind of knew what the outcome was going to be. We think we all knew Statlander was going to win this match.
Mhm.
Maybe that's what kind of threw it. But I mean, I thought both women did a great job in the ring. Like I said, it just felt like there was maybe just one thing that was missing to take it from good to great. And then as for the segment, I mean, that's just typical go home before the championship match on a pay per view. Um, and I know the saying is whoever stands tall usually won't win. And I think unfortunately that's what's going to be the case here for Statlander, even though I know she's going to put on one hell of a match against Mercedes.
Oh yeah, yes indeed, yes indeed. So next up we have the pretty much against Joe Keys and the world famous Cheeseburger. This will be Bobby Lashley's AEW in ring debut. Uh, I know handicap matches. We usually think, oh yeah, the person who's the singles competitor, he's not gonna have. He's at a disadvantage. But Bobby Lashley, he's usually never at a disadvantage, considering how great he is in the ring and how much of a human wrecking ball he is. And so yeah, this was a squash match, man. He put the works on Joe Keys and Cheeseburger. Then after this match, Swerve will come out. Well, Lashley did. He won with the Hurtlock submission. Swerve will come out, and then he will pop up from under the ring, attack Lashley with a chain wrapped around his fist. What did you think of this, Coach?
I thought the match was, I mean, it had to be done. So, like, it happened,
Yeah,
is
yeah,
all I can say. But the afterwards with Swerve, I really loved um, the crowd popping for him
yeah,
on that. And
yeah,
again, showing that dark side that has kind of made him who he is now ever since he was AEW World Champion
yeah.
with that chain. I thought that really completed it for me. But the match itself, I was just more like,
Yeah. I
I
think it was one of those, yeah, it was one of those situations where it's just like, all right, we know what Bobby Lashley is and what he can bring to the table. So it's almost like, we he just had to he pretty much had to give him somebody to, beat up, just to they couldn't just have it be one person, and they don't want to make somebody meaningful, yeah, put him against somebody like big time yet. So just like, all right, because eventually he's gonna go against Swerve. So we know what's happening with that. But like you wanna give him like some type of you know, refresher lesson or some type of training match, I guess. Just to
right.
say, yeah, I'm here, get my feet wet, So they said we not just gonna throw one person at you. We gonna throw two guys at you and see what you can do. And clearly it was easy work.
Yeah.
And so moving on to the next match, we had Darby Allin versus Claudio Castagnoli. We know how personal and intense, this rivalry between the Don Callis family and Darby Allin and several other members of the I guess you got the conglomerate and several other guys that was in this whole thing with Darby Allin. And so basically in this match, Darby Allin, he's quick, fast, he throwing out all kinds of offense against Castagnoli. Castagnoli came out to this match by himself, but we know the Death Riders are never far away. But eventually, Castagnoli takes over this match, and he put the beating on Darby Allin. He was throwing his man through tables, swinging him into the steel steps. Man, it was nasty, man. he was getting his ass whooped. You thought it was like a pay-per-view match based on how bad he was getting whooped. But eventually he would make a 10 count after getting thrown onto the table. And then eventually he would try to dish out some more offense, but Claudio eventually with reign supreme gives this man one of the nastiest lariats and pins in 1, 2, 3. After this match, let me see here. Yeah, that was pretty much it with this match. So what did you think about this match and how it ended, Coach?
I think this was probably the most dominant we had seen Claudio in his AEW reign, and I was all for it. I think that was, and who better than Darby Allin, the guy who's willing to do literally anything for a
Right.
spot? I think it was a great choice, and I think both guys looked strong. So
Yeah.
even though Darby Allin lost, that resilience that he shows still makes him that lovable baby face, and Claudio, we hadn't really seen. He's kind of been more of the background guy with John Moxley, and I think this was really good to have him showcase, like kind of what you said about Bobby Lashley. Like, hey, I got to show you all remember who I am, and I think he
Mhm.
did that exactly tonight. Definitely I think his best match in his AEW career.
Mhm. So next up we got Chris Jericho and the contract signing between Chris Jericho and Tomohiro Ishii. So basically, this will be their rematch, and this will be for the ROH Heavyweight Championship. So prior to that, we had a video package that would play involving Daniel Garcia and Daddy Magic holding Jack Perry hostage. And Daniel Garcia pretty much talking his shit to Jack Perry, saying, "Hey, you did this or whatever. You tried to end this man's career and all this other stuff. I'm going to take a title from you, blah, blah, blah." It was just, the usual shit, man. So I was kind of shocked to see that this is the development, like that like you rarely see a heel character get held hostage by baby faces. So this is
Hmm.
very interesting to see. And so what did you think of this? And they eventually left him by himself.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, Daniel Garcia, I think he is probably going to win on Saturday against Jack Perry, or
Mhm.
at least in my opinion, he should win. And
Yeah.
I love when they make baby faces have heelish tendencies because it brings a sense of realism
Mm-hmm.
to it. And I think that's really the first time, and I'm probably wrong on this, but this is really the first time we've seen AEW do that. I feel like they've kind of stuck true with besides Swerve. Swerve is the one that is the babyface with heelish tendencies.
Yeah.
Um, but outside of Swerve, it's been like kind of par for the course. So this was
Mhm.
really, really interesting to see, and I liked it. I was here for it.
Yep. And then moving on to that contract signing. And so basically, so Jericho was refusing to sign a contract and he tried to run away. I guess he wanted his legal team to look it over before he signed the contract. So Ishii would follow him throughout the arena. I guess this was like one of the slowest chase scenes ever. And there was no running. Both of these dudes are like out of shape. Jericho's just walking. And basically Ishii was like following behind them, avoiding everything that Jericho would like just throwing his way. So they eventually make it back to the ring. Ishii hands him a pen to sign the contract. Brian Keith and Big Bill would attack Ishii from behind before he could sign the contract. This will bring out the rest of the conglomeration to make the save. And the segment would end with Big Tom signing on the dotted line. And so this was a this was a very weird segment, man. I like I said early on in the episode, like this is like with Jericho, man, it's just like, man, what is he doing? Like, what,
Hmm.
where are we at right now with Jericho? So what did you think of this, man?
Um, so this happened, and that's all I really got to say. I thought it.
Yeah,
I know some people are going to see this and probably think this is one of the most hilarious things ever. I am not one of those people. I think this was really, really dumb and did not do anything to promote this match except know that this is going to be a disaster.
yeah,
That's all I can say about that. This was definitely the low light of AEW tonight.
man. And so next up, we will have another, I guess, video package. We got MJF cutting a little mini promo on Roderick Strong, bringing up some traumatic things from Strong's past and in that promo. Um, and so it was some crazy stuff, man. What did you think of this? What did you think of this segment?
That was dark. What
Yeah.
MJF did, that was. I mean, I hope like backstage, Roderick Strong signed off on saying, "Hey, yeah, this is okay to
Yeah,
say," but you
yeah,
never know with MJF. I would not be
right.
surprised if he just did this on his own. But man,
Yeah,
that was
yeah,
that was
yeah.
dark.
And Roddy did respond to this in his own interview with Tony Schiavone on the stage. So what did you think about that one? That response?
Um, not didn't really think much of it because still in the trauma of what MJF said. I think whatever Roderick Strong said, it was going to go on deaf ears because everyone else was so focused on that MJF promo, and that's nothing against Roderick Strong. Just MJF killed it like he always does
Yeah.
with his promos.
Oh yeah, definitely. And we have the main event. Wheeler Yuta versus Orange Cassidy. Orange Cassidy threw out the challenge last week on Dynamite. And Moxley accepted on Yuta's behalf. And so this match here, man, it was these former friends to be exact. And you actually, yeah, Yuta, yeah, he was a former protege
Mm-hmm.
of Cassidy. So yeah, this definitely is personal for real. So Yuta, he's even though he's a heel and he's willing to break the rules, you have that rare instance where the heel is normally starting off the match like I'm just here to throw hands and wrestle, man. Like they not trying to throw out no heel tactics and try to cheat or anything like that. Like they just wrestle. And so this is between these two is a good exchange, back and forth technical wrestling, as you would want in a main event style match. So the intensity did kick up between these two. Yuta hit a brainbuster onto the barricade. After this, Orange Cassidy was pretty much trying to fight an uphill battle to get back into the match. I was shocked at how dangerous they made Yuta look in this match. Like normally we don't see
Mm-hmm.
that in his matches. And so Cassidy, looking like the valiant baby face, he won't give up. He's gonna keep fighting as most baby faces do. But him in particular, he definitely keeps it going. And so um pretty much Yuta would grow frustrated with the fact that he could not put Orange Cassidy away. He would eventually grab a steel chair, but Orange Cassidy would dodge it and hit him with a roll-up schoolboy for the win. As Cassidy would stare Yuta down after the match, Pac would make his I won't say his return because he hadn't really been going long, but Pac would come out and attack Orange Cassidy with a kick, take him down, and here comes the rest of the Death Riders, and they it was weird. They put Orange Cassidy's hands in his pockets like he normally does,
Mm-hmm.
and then they pretty much tape his arms to his body with duct tape and pretty much just beat the crap out of him to end the show. and that was pretty much how the show ended, man. What did you think of this match and the aftermath?
Yeah, I thought the match was really solid. I liked how, like you had said in your thing there, see that they made Wheeler look more dangerous than usual, but also making Orange Cassidy look like that new baby face of the company that they so desperately need.
Right.
And I think they accomplished both goals tonight with that. And I, with me, the big thing about the booking is the story that you're telling. And I think they did exactly that in the ring because you could see at the beginning Wheeler was fighting his heel tendencies because this was his former mentor. And then finally he just gave in to his heel tactics and just tried to win the dirty way like a heel would. So I thought that was just great in ring storytelling.
Yep. I don't know why I didn't put the ticker on until now.
I didn't even notice.
I'm gonna get better at this, y'all. This is my first time producing, but I'll get better at it next time. But not too bad of a first day, But this is coming from a guy who has a bachelor's degree in visual arts, so I've worked with a lot of digital media. So it's just with this one, it's my first time, but I'll get it down packed. But yeah, overall, I think it was a great show, man. I give it a solid B, just for a go home show. I'm definitely looking forward to Full Gear. I'm not going to order the pay per view. I'm gonna watch it illegally. So so yeah, I will tune in and check and see how everything plays out. I might even try to do a little recap show of it, depending on how my schedule is, and see if any of y'all are free to do so. But yeah, thanks for all who tuned in. Just as always, continue to like, share, and subscribe to the podcast. We're on all social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. We got Twitter. We're on Spotify as well, so you can listen to us on Spotify if you don't want to listen to it on YouTube. So yeah, thanks for all who tuned in. We will catch you all. Tune in for the SmackDown Rebound on Friday. Virgil, he may be doing a recap show tomorrow for TNA's Impact, so tune in for that as well. And then if not, we'll catch you guys on Sunday for our main episode show. So peace.